The Homestead, many of you will remember, opened in 1998, back in October. It's an independent living retirement community, and a lot of times people get a little bit confused. Is it assisted living, or is it even a nursing home? And the answer is no. It's neither of those. It's an independent living center, and the independent part of it means that the people that live out there are able to take care of themselves, but they're retired and they have grown less and less fond over all of their life experiences of doing things like housework and cooking and that sort of thing. And the Homestead offers them an opportunity to move into a pretty decent apartment, and may not be, I say pretty decent, they're nice apartments, but it's probably not what they're used to at home and that sort of thing. But and we pretty much take care of them. We cook their meals, we clean their apartments, we offer, transportation to and from many of their appointments, and that sort of thing. It's a place where we offer all kinds of activities and that sort of thing as well. What is included, we also, it's kind of an all-inclusive, when you go on a trip or whatever, and sometimes you get an all-inclusive package. It includes all your meals and drinks and stuff like that. We're kind of an all-inclusive apartment complex. All your utilities except your landline phone line are included in the rent. Basic cable is also included. When I was looking at the brochure before I came in, I noticed that this is an old brochure, but it says basic cable is excluded, but that's not the case. We just within the past 12 months or so, basic cable has become part of the package included in the rent. Wi-Fi, internet. We have 24-hour on-site staff and a 24-hour emergency call system that people are able to either opt into participating in or not, as well as a daily well-being check. If you want us to check on you, to make sure that you haven't fallen down in your room or something like that, we'll extend that courtesy as well. We provide 20 meals a week, every meal, 3 meals a day except Sunday evening meal, and we have a kind of a hybrid cafeteria / restaurant style dining. We've got we just added within the past few weeks a really quality salad bar with about 33 options on it. The residents really enjoy that. Everything from your vegetables to the different meats and stuff like that. You can have a really good meal just from our salad bar. But breakfast, we run a lunch line or a breakfast line, but they'll get up and run through the window and pick up their meals at breakfast. But the rest of the meals, we'll wait on you. We'll take your order and wait on you, and that's pretty nice, I guess. At home you have to wait on yourself, or if you're fortunate like me to have a wonderful, loving wife, sometimes she'll wait on me. But at the Homestead, our staff will take care of that. We provide housekeeping on a weekly basis if you choose. You don't have to choose it, but light housekeeping, including your flat linen laundry. So we'll wash the sheets and towels and that sort of thing, and do some light housekeeping work as well once a week. And then for your personal laundry, we do have free laundry facilities. So just provide your own detergent, and you can use our laundry facilities. There's no coin-operated anything. It's all included in the rent. And then if you don't want to do your own laundry, you can arrange for our staff to do your personal laundry as well, and that's $4 a load. So many activities take place on our campus, and then we have also activities that we participate in off-site. I was looking at the activity calendar for February, and there's something going on every day this month, and generally every month, and in February there's only 6 days where there's not at least 2 things going on for activities for our residents. I mentioned transportation. When the weather's bad like this, we don't want people to get into their vehicles and stuff like that, so we're happy to either run an errand for you or take you to an appointment or whatnot. And there's that's something that's sometimes a challenge depending on how busy people are on what days, but it's something that we try to accommodate anytime they need transportation. But our scheduled days are Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. So any Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, we schedule more staff so that we can make sure and take people to their, whether it be Walmart or a doctor's appointment or a hair appointment, what have you. You'll see in there our apartment options. We do have an efficiency apartment, which we call the studio apartment. It is the style of unit that's set up completely for handicap accessibility, and from the shower to the doorways to the closets and all of the features are set up for someone to be able to manage in that apartment from a wheelchair. Our one-bedroom apartments are slightly bigger, but a different floor plan than the studio. And then our two-bedroom apartment has also 2 bathrooms. So and in the super two-bedroom, you see listed there, but not a floor plan. It's actually 2 one-bedroom apartments where the wall has been taken out in between the living rooms. And so that, again, is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, but it's got 2 living type areas. And it also has 2 kitchenettes. I mentioned kitchenette. Each unit does have a rather large walk-in closet and a kitchenette, including a microwave and a refrigerator and a sink. And generally speaking, we have most of our one-bedroom apartments are the most popular for singles, and then our 2-bedroom apartments seem to be more popular for our couples that are out there. We have, as far as amenities go with our site, I think safety and security, I think, probably is the number one thing people are looking for when they start to make that decision to go live somewhere. All of our apartments are interior access only, so our exterior exits lock at 9 o'clock every evening and open back up 6:30 or 7 whenever the staff show up. We do have somebody on site 24 hours a day, and overnight there's a person that lives there. We've got 2 people actually that live at the homestead and cover our overnight calls. Generally speaking, there's nothing that happens overnight. The older a person gets, I suppose, the earlier they go to bed, and once they go to bed, there's really not much happens until they get up the next morning, and so generally the evenings are pretty uneventful, but the emergency call button and our staff are available to them should something come up in the middle of the night and they need help. We have an exercise room, we've got a chapel and a library, an activity room. The activity room also has a kitchen that where if you enjoy cooking or want to prepare a meal for something or other, you can use the kitchen in our activity room, since each apartment only has a kitchenette. We've got a sewing room. We've got extra furnished rooms if you have guests coming to town, that you can rent one of our rooms for $55 a night. A lot more economical than a hotel. The guest rooms we also have available for, I know many of you are in business in town, for anybody that's a business in a business relationship with Share, if you have guests coming to town, we will rent to our business for $70 a night. Again, it's pretty economical over the hotel option. We're not a hotel, though. We're not trying to put hotels out of business, but for the people that live with us or work with us, we try to help them out. We have some on-site storage options. We do allow pets with an additional deposit, as long as they're not too big. We've got reserved parking options. We have a gift shop, a garden, and a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on out there. The building's owned by the city. Share Medical Center is in a management agreement with the Homestead, and that's kind of how it operates. So the city continues the debt payments on the property, and Share Medical Center has all the expenses and all the revenue from the operation. That management agreement was a 5-year agreement, went into place in September of 2012. And since that time, it's been a very good addition to Share Medical Center's operation. We've been in the black since that time with the money in, money out for expenses and whatnot, and it's been helpful. Let's see. I will say that we do have just a couple other things. We aren't at maximum capacity. It's probably a question that'll come up here in a little bit, but we do have 31 rooms rented at this time. We have 50 apartments available. We have made an option for what we call a non-traditional resident, and that's somebody that needs a place to stay. They're not a retiree or semi-retired, but we've got apartments, and we do extend those out to them with a background check, make sure they're not some kind of a troublemaker, and with a clause in their rental agreement that should a retiree become interested and pay a deposit on the apartment that they're living in, we'll give them 30-day notice to vacate. We're there to serve a retired population, but we also got to keep money coming in the door when we have apartments available and we have people in our community that are looking for places to stay. We need to make sure that we offer the service and then take advantage of the opportunity as well. We offer furnished apartments for rental or overnight guests. We also, one of our furnished apartments is a respite apartment that, say someone's coming out of the hospital after a surgery or something of that nature. This apartment does have the landline in it already established so that the emergency call system will work. Our other furnished apartments have that if you purchase your own landline. But that room's available. We're really wanting to encourage people to come out and visit us. We've started some of our some incentives with our residents that they get rewarded with we call it a Homestead Buck. And it's a little green token that they can use to purchase guest meals if they want to have someone come out and eat with us. A guest meal will range from, depending on which meal, $3 to $7. And so they can use their tokens that they get for participating in our activities to have friends or family come out and visit and eat meals, or even rent the guest rooms, and several other things as well. All of our rental agreements, unless it's a special circumstance, are a month to month. So 30 days notice, and you're able to vacate if that's what you wish. We think that's important to seniors. I know when I speak with my grandfather, and for the last several years, he said, "I don't buy green bananas anymore." You don't want that big of a commitment. So, I think the month-to-month rental agreement is important because you never know what's going to happen as you age. We want people to not have to worry about future obligations, even though, generally speaking, a longer-term rental agreement is what you'll find in most other rental situations. We have fun. I really can't stress enough how much fun we have out there. I don't know if some of you were present for our Christmas open house. I would venture there was over 100 people out there for that, between residents and community members, and that lobby was just jam-packed. So we do things that are open to the public. We also do things that are just for the people that live out there, and whether it's a bottle of champagne on New Year's Eve or birthday parties and whatnot, we really try to make sure that it's an enjoyable environment so that they're not just sitting in their room bored because there's nothing to do. I think it's important, both from my healthcare background as well as just my personal experiences. You got to stay active. The more active you stay, the more independent you'll stay for longer. And so that's been real important to us. Some people aren't quite fully independent, and that's okay. We do allow residents to hire their own private caregivers to come out. Of course, home health agencies are allowed to come out and provide services as well. And it's we try to break down any of the barriers that people might have to renting with us. And as far as room availability goes, we have rooms available of all sizes at this point. we're working on a couple rental agreements that could take us up to near capacity pretty quick if they all pan out. But I don't want to. Probably said too much and I already jinxed it. But anyway, that is what's going on at the homestead. I did want to make mention of two more things and then open it up for question. And this is regarding the medical center. We have brought onto our staff Lindsay Pruitt. She is a PA. She's working out of Dr. Kinsey's office. She will see patients of all ages. I know some of you have children and have a hard time finding people to take care of your kids when they're sick. But Lindsay will see kiddos. She'll also see seniors and everything in between. We are inviting everybody in the community, and I think the Chamber will be sending out some information too, but we'll be hosting the next Chamber Community Coffee in the lobby at the hospital, and we'll introduce everybody to Lindsay there if you haven't already had that opportunity. So do come out. It's the third Friday in February, 21st. Do you know, Lynn? I'd have to, yeah. But it's the third Friday in February at 8 a.m. at the hospital lobby. So please come out, meet Lindsay, and we'll feed you breakfast that morning. It's also going to be a legislators' breakfast. So I think Representative Hickman and Senator Marlatt will both be there as well. So. Now, does anybody have any questions? Doc?
The apartments that you rent to someone that's just working somewhere and needs a place to live, can they buy meal privileges along with that, or are they separate from that?
They have that option. Generally, all of our residents have the option to take the meal plan or not take the meal plan. If they opt out of the meal plan, it's a $150 credit on their rent per month.
You said you had 31 residents or 31 rooms rented. Do you have additional ones that are business people, or is that counting all of those?
We have one resident right now that is what I would consider non-traditional. They work, they get up in the morning, they're gone before the sun comes up, and generally get back before after it goes down. But we also have some. We've got one short-term resident that's been there a little over 2 years. And he is semi-retired, but he's working in the oil industry. His wife lives up here with him. They've got two cute little poodles, and so he's only semi-retired. But and then I don't know. Many of you know Bob Wharton. Bob still gets out and goes to work. We've got another gal that still works as well, but semi-retired would be what I call it.
What's the cost on one of the two-bedroom?
Two-bedroom with everything in it, or not furnished, but everything else, is $19.30 a month.
Is there an age limit in case I want to move in there anytime soon?
Oh, you're old enough. We don't have an age limit per se, but we kind of look at retirement as that. Are you into retirement, starting to get into retirement, or somewhat of that level, where we would consider you to be a traditional resident? Everybody's retirement age seems to be a little bit different these days, so we don't want someone that found retirement early to not be able to move in until 10 years later because they retired early. Okay.
I know I talked to you about a week ago, and I would have brought her, I would have called you and brought her up, before noon. Mm-hmm. But water started getting bad.
Oh, it stinks when it gets like this.
So she's fine where she's at. It's just that if the weather's good, I don't see her until kind of late in the evening, and I kind of ask her how her day's been, and just lonely. I think she's got outlived all of her friends, and you know, that's why I said I was wanting to know. But you said, well, that's privileged information. You better bring her up there as a guest.
We do. We have a policy where we don't give out our residents, names and phone information. As a resident, they appreciate that. It sometimes is difficult for people trying to figure out, I think I want to move out there. Am I going to know anybody? And it's a challenge that we try to overcome by saying, just come out anytime. We'd be happy to have a meal for you. And generally speaking, I'm going to foot the bill on that. If you're coming out, you're thinking about moving out, we'll come out, bring a guest, and come eat with us, and you can kind of see what's going on, and that allows people to. The few times that I've had people take me up on it, they've always seen people they know, and it's always been a good thing. We've had a couple people move in from out of town that didn't know anybody, weren't going to know anybody, didn't know anybody, and what we do in those situations is hook them up with a Homestead Buddy. The folks that live out there, many of them are more than happy to invite you to their table during mealtime and kind of get you acquainted with what goes on out at the homestead, and who you can pick on, who you can't, and what's that person do, and whatnot. So I say that also. We do offer community meeting space as well, and if you're a senior or retiree group. Just come meet with us. We'll provide a meal for your meeting, and come meet with us, and hopefully you like what you see, that when it comes time to think about moving in, you might move in. So.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right, thank you.